Hi folks, hope you are okay. Just making a quick video. Last Sunday, Hatun, a friend of mine, and I just want to say to Hatun in this video, I hope you're well. My WhatsApp's down, so I can't contact you at the moment, so I just hope you're well, and I'm really sorry that you've been attacked on Sunday, and I have communicated to you before that I've been worried about you, and I'm just really sad, and I hope that you're okay. I'm making this video um, just to say that Tommy Robinson has made a video saying that he's going to be down at Speaker's Corner this Sunday to give Hatun chocolates and flowers. And there is a battle going on in the West, and there's a battle raging in France, there's a battle raging in Germany, there's a battle raging in Holland, there's a battle raging. Not only do we have the establishment trying to take our freedoms away with COVID-19, but hot on the heels is political Islam. And given time, political Islam will begin to put its thumb down on our freedoms in a few years or even a short years to come. This is a real present danger. And these Islamic extremists, you have two things that are happening. You have these Muslim apologists making videos attacking the Bible, attacking Christianity, but saying they're nice Muslims. But at the same time, they're in partnership with Islamic extremists who are behind the scenes doing thuggish behavior. For example, killing Christian missionaries in Africa, in Nigeria, and around the world, blowing people up, and as we've seen in Speaker's Corner recently, punching Hatun. So there's a battle going on, and the battle is that we're being presented with this nice, sweet Islam. Behind the scenes, there's thuggish behavior going on. For example, in France, a teacher's head was chopped off, all because he said something bad about Muhammad. There's a real battle going on, folks, for the freedoms in our Western civilization, and part of that battle is political Islam. So if you value your freedom, if you value the freedom that you have in Britain, well, it's virtually nearly been taken away, if not been taken away. But if you used to value your freedom, it's time you stood up for your freedom. It's time you stood up for those who were standing up for the freedom to say what you're thinking, rather than being thought controlled and mind controlled. It's time you made a stand. Now, Tommy Robinson is going to Speaker's Corner. He's going to give chocolates to Hatun and flowers, and he's called for everybody to buy flowers and chocolates and go down and show Hatun how much she is loved. This is a great opportunity to slap political Islam in the face, to slap the establishment in the face, not with violence, but with some love. It will send the establishment crazy. It will send political Islam in a fit, because you're not going to do what they're expecting you to do. They're expecting you to lash out. But just go down there and show yourself what a true man you are, a true British man. Show them what a real British man is. Show the establishment what a true British man is. Those men that died at the Somme, those men who died on the battlefield in the Second World War for our freedom, that blood is still in you as British men. That blood is still in you. The forefathers that fought at the Somme, the forefathers that fought in the Second World War, that valiant, gentlemanly men of valor is still in some British men. So, my friends, my fellow Brits, I can't be with you. I'm in Ghana. I'm a missionary here. But if I was over there, I'd be over there like a shot. Be men. It's time to be a man. It's time to stand up and be a man, for goodness sake. Stop sitting on your butt and doing nothing. Stop sitting there and moaning. You say, well, what are you doing? I'm helping the poor here. We've got kids. They've got nothing. They're living in shanty towns. They're living in shanty huts, and we're feeding them and we're helping them. That's what I'm doing here. All right? If I was there, I'd be standing with you, but I can't. These kids need me here. The people here need me. They're poor. They don't have what we have in UK. But be a man. Get off your butt and fight for your country. Fight for Britain. Britain needs you. We're sick of the media. We're sick of the namby-pamby politicians. The establishment's a joke. Be a man. And stand up for your country. Get your butt down there at Hyde Park Speaker's Corner and surround that woman and show her that you are a man. And every woman there in Britain, every woman who values your fellow ladies, do you want to see women punched just because they express an opinion? If you don't, well, you get down there and you back the men. Let's see the biggest sea of flowers that Britain has ever seen. Let's see the biggest sea of flowers that Britain has ever seen at Speaker's Corner. Stand up for Hatun. Stand up with Tommy Robinson. Stand up for your British identity. Stand up for free speech. Stand up and fight against political Islam and the establishment. Because if you don't, you'll die on your knees. You will die on your knees. It's better to die on your feet than die on your knees. It's better to be dying on your feet than being censored and dying on your knees where you're put in the gulag. She's put her neck on the line. She's standing up for freedom. She's standing up against Islam. She's doing her best to be threatened. Her life is on the line. She knows how serious it is. Should not be acceptable in a country like Britain. We shouldn't be living in a country apart. Not Hatun. If anybody wants to deal with Hatun, let them debate her. Let them argue with her. She goes down the data with the evidence. Then argue with her. Debate her. If you can beat her, great. If you can't beat her, then just accept it. But to go down there team-handed as Muslims, punch her in the face, it's not acceptable. It's not acceptable for the police to accept that. You have to remove those people who would do that. That's what you have to do, police. And because you're full of fear, because you're scared of upsetting the Muslims, because you're scared and because you're so infected with political correctness as police, you are scared of dealing with the Islamic extremists. It's no good giving Hatun Osman warning. You need to stand there at Speaker's Corner and make sure she's all right. Walk her home as police officers. Do the gentlemanly thing and walk her home every night when she's at Speaker's Corner instead of saying, Osman warning, you're going to get killed. Don't go to park. We're off now. I mean, what kind of namby-pamby police are you? If it was me, if I were a police officer, I'd walk her home every night when she comes to Speaker's Corner. I'd stand next to her. And any Muslim extremist gives her any jip, I'd grab them and take them into jail and fine them. This is a very important moment in British national life, this, police. Be careful how you handle it, police officers, captains and all the rest of you, because if you handle this in your nice little political correct way, it might blow in your face. Yeah? It might blow in your face. You need to be seen to be doing your job, and that means dealing with the extremist. Deal with the extremist. Alright? Deal with the extremist. Don't deal with people who have evidence. You might not agree with the way she does it. You, as a police officer, you might not agree with what she's doing, but that's called freedom of speech. And she's got all her data and evidence. She's shown that there are many different Qurans, that we're told that there's only one Quran in Arabic. It's a pack of lies. You got the Duri Quran, the Has Quran. You got many different Qurans. And what about all these Islamic extremists that are connected to these top Muslim apologists? All these Muslim apologists in Britain that are pumping their propaganda out, they're all connected to Islamic extremists. They're all connected. I don't see you investigating Mohammed Hijab. Have you done some investigation to Mohammed Hijab and some of these Muslim apologists at Speaker's Corner? You'll soon find out that they're connected to some pretty dodgy people. But you won't do that, will you? As police officers, you'll be cowards. You'll do the politically correct thing, and you people at the top of the police officers, you will do the politically correct thing, and that's just keep it all down, keep it all down. Well, if we live in fear, we lose our free speech. So political correctness is really living in fear. Don't upset the Muslims because things might blow up. So basically, don't speak out or say anything against Islam and live in fear. What happened to the guy in France? His head got chopped off. Why did that happen? Because France lived in fear. And if you live in fear, you let the bullies win. You shouldn't live in fear. You should be allowed to speak your mind and not be afraid to be arrested or have this cancel culture thrown at your door. There should be intellectual discussion and dialogue in Britain, and it's been silenced by the far left and political correctness and cancel culture. And that's what's fueling all this hatred and animosity, because people are being allowed to discuss the issues of the times, because cancel culture will come along and throw you under a bus. And dialogue and intellectual discussion is the foundation of Western democracy, and Speaker's Corner is at the heart of that. So you silence Hatun, it's another nail in the coffin of free speech in the West. It means we can't say anything critical about Islam. Well, look at the way people are critical of Christianity. People rip into Christianity on the internet. They say the most disgusting things about Christianity on the internet. Even in public, if you're a street preacher, I've been punched as a street preacher many times. I've been kicked as a street preacher many times in Manchester, Liverpool. I didn't see the police arresting people. I didn't see the BBC reporting on it. Many of my colleagues who were street preachers in Manchester and around the UK often got punched and attacked. But it wasn't on the BBC, it wasn't reported. Any gay person gets attacked, it's on the BBC straight away. If a Muslim gets attacked, it's on the BBC straight away. What I'm saying is that Christianity is attacked everywhere. Even their preachers are attacked, physically. But nobody can say anything about Islam. Nobody can say anything. Nobody can say anything. But you can rip Christianity apart. You can say the most disgusting things about Christianity. And you can even punch a Christian in the public and nothing will happen to you. You can even kick a Christian. You can even attack a Christian. You don't believe me? I'm living proof of it. You don't believe me? Hatun's living proof of it. She's been attacked many times in Speaker's Corner. So this incident is a very defining moment in British history, believe it. Globalists coming in and doing all the namby-pamby stuff to stop us, making us put masks on and all nonsense that they're doing. Once they've done the worst, they're doing what is called the Great Reset. After all this COVID-19, all these globalists, they've been discussing and meeting billionaires and all these top people. They've all been meeting, and they call it the Great Reset. And they want to reset the world, the Great Reset. But what's going to happen when they do this Great Reset is it's all going to blow up in the face. It's all going to be a complete dog's dinner. And what's going to happen? Political Islam's going to come on the back heel of the chaos and said, they've messed up, we'll take over. That's what's going to happen in Britain. Political Islam is just waiting in the back, waiting to seize power in Britain, waiting to seize power in France, in Germany, in Holland. That's why they're building all the main mosques. That's why they're financing the universities. All the universities, main universities, they're all being financed by Saudi Arabia and these big Arab oil tech companies. They've been financed. Oxford University and some of these big universities in Britain and around the world, they're all being financed for Islamic departments because they're preparing the ground, because you can't win a battle just this. So they have put in place in many of the key universities in the West. You look at France and Germany, some of these key universities have been infiltrated by Islamic extremists who have been given the money to set up academic departments in universities, and they're preparing the ground intellectually to take over the West. And we are years behind them. You can't win a battle unless you win it intellectually. You've got to go to the universities and win the debates there. You've got to have academics there writing books, defending freedom, defending Christianity, defending the truth. But it's been taken over by far leftists and Islamic extremists. That's why everybody has to start think tanks, Christian think tanks, and new institutions which encourage intellectual discussion and writing of books and things, because you have to win the argument intellectually. But what I'm saying is that political Islam has prepared the ground intellectually in the universities. They're preparing the ground on the streets with dawah. They're preparing the ground with mass immigration. They did deals. European countries did deals with Saudi Arabia and these Islamic countries so that they could send Islamic refugees to get into these countries. Why? In European countries, why? They're preparing the ground, on the ground. There are at least 40 million, I think 50 million Muslims in Europe now. One day they will want their political rights. One day there'll be places in UK, Birmingham for example, it will become an Islamic state. There'll be places in France even soon that will be made Islamic states. In Germany, places that will be made Islamic states. You don't believe me? Google Philippines and see what's happened in the Philippines. It happened in the Philippines. In the Philippines, there were these Muslims, and they declared a city in the Philippines as an Islamic state. Go and look at what happened to the Philippines. This is not Islamophobia. This is reality. And this creeping Islamization is coming to Britain, and it's on the doorstep of Speaker's Corner. And what happened to Hatun, punched in the face, is what's going to happen to every person who doesn't bow the knee to political Islam in the next few years. Now, the political establishment, the establishment in Britain, are the bunch of cowards. They hate Britain. They hate Britain. And they want to go with globalists, and they want to turn Britain into some kind of socialist, neo-communist, namby-pamby state where they tell you what you can do, what you can't do, and how you think. That's what they're aiming to do. That's their future goal. But it'll all turn to dust. When it falls to the ground and dust, political Islam will come in the confusion and say, we can lead the way. So everybody needs to wake up. They're preparing the ground with the dawah. They have you cannot go to an Islamic country and do evangelism. I'm in Ghana. If I go to certain places in Nigeria, I'll be killed. Certain Islamic areas in Nigeria, I'll be killed. There are places around Ghana right now. If I go and preach there, I'll be killed. Just outside Ghana, Mali and places like that, I'll be killed. But yet they can come to our country and they're doing dawah, and they're using our free speech to do dawah, and they're doing dawah everywhere. They're doing dawah everywhere. And so we, as Christians, we need to get out and share the gospel. We need to get free Bibles out. We need to be doing evangelism. We need to be sharing the gospel. We need to be out and about sharing the gospel in every way we can. Just get in one of these But we're at a tipping point. Britain is at a tipping point. The British people need to start to wake up. You are blind, and you have been drugged by materialism. You've been drugged by the spirit of the age. And those people who died at the Somme, those people who died in the Second World War, and all the things that they did for us, you're in danger of squandering it and throwing it away because you're walking blind in a totalitarian state. And in that totalitarian state, with all this COVID-19, political Islam waiting at the back, ready to jump in when they mess up. And the British people, you've got to start to wake up. You've got to wake up. We're under siege. We're in the greatest battle for Britain that's ever been. This is the most dangerous tipping point in British history. This is more serious than the Second World War. Far more serious than the Second World War. In the Second World War, we could see Hitler coming. We could see him coming. He had his tanks and his bombs, and we could see it right there. But these people in the establishment, what is done is Trojan horse stuff. They've come in secretly. They've secretly, in the higher echelons of the politics, in the British government and these political people, they have done a Trojan horse over the generation, allowing mass immigration to destroy our nation state. Trojan horse under Blair and others. Trojan horse with abortion, brought it in without people properly realising it. Trojan horse with gay marriage. Wasn't properly done. There weren't proper debates on it. It was just a Trojan horse brought in to undermine the family. Trojan horse at our school system, where they changed it, didn't teach British history, started teaching identity politics to kids. So when they go to university, they've been brainwashed, they can't even think anymore. Trojan horse, you see. Trojan horse, these academics in the universities, far leftists, have been undermining our democratic institutions for generations. And so now we have the media is far left, and they'll silence anybody with their cancel culture. Trojan horse, you see. Trojan horse with the BBC and all these people, all these networks that pretend that they're for us, but in reality they slip up sometimes and show their true colours when they want to take away what's it called? I'm getting like Joe Biden. I've got a Joe Biden moment. You know, when we have the night of the proms and you wanted to sing Land of Hope and Glory, and they tried to change it. It's a Trojan horse mentality. So Hitler, we could see him coming, but these people, we can't see him coming. COVID-19 and all this, and get your mask on, and you're all walking around like zombies, doing as you're told, and you don't realise it. They're telling you can't go and see your family, you can't go and shop at a shopping centre and get what you need or get what you want. You can't even run your business. It's Trojan horse stuff, where they're taking our freedoms and changing our nation and destroying it. And this Speaker's Corner with Hatun, it's a battle. But it's a huge battle. It's an important battle. But we've got to fight on many fronts, and we've got to fight with wisdom. We've got to fight this battle, and we've got to be determined to win it. Because we're outnumbered. Far left, we've got the far left, and then political Islam. It's like 10-2. And we're going to lose this battle if we're not determined, and if we don't think properly, and we don't think and 10 steps ahead of our enemies. We've got to think 10 steps ahead of the far left, 10 steps ahead of political Islam, 10 steps ahead of the establishment, because they're outmaneuvering us all the time. All these marches that we're doing, all these things, we've got to think better than this. We've got to have more strategies. We've got to take people to the university and debate people. Show them that our position is the right position as Christians and as nationalists. We've got to is a Christian. And that's important. She's a Christian. And those who are going to stand with her need to know that the cried on a cross for your sin, that is important, folks, that can defeat it. It can't defeat it. It's not strong enough. Christianity is the only ideology that can defeat it. Why? Because it's the truth. Jesus says, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. So you've got to rally around the gospel that we're saved by grace, that Christ died on that cross, shed his blood for us, gave his life. Google Latimer and Ridley. Google Latimer and Ridley. Google William Tyndale. Google William Tyndale. Google Latimer and Ridley. Google John Wycliffe and rediscover your heritage. Look. Google Fox's Book of Martyrs and read about your heritage as Christian, as men, British men and women. Find out about the Fox's Book of Martyrs and read about your heritage. Learn about the Christian faith. Fox's Book of Martyrs. Please Google it. Tommy Robinson, Google it and read the Fox's Book of Martyrs. Read about George Whitefield. Get hold of his books. Read his sermons. George Whitefield. Jonathan Edwards. Read about Jonathan Edwards. Read his books. Read his sermons. Jonathan Edwards. Dr. Martin Lloyd-Jones, go to his recording trust. Dr. Martin Lloyd-Jones Recording Trust. Dr. Martin Lloyd-Jones Recording Trust. Tommy Robinson, go to Dr. Martin Lloyd-Jones Recording Trust and listen to some of his sermons. Learn your heritage. Learn who you are. You cannot defeat Islam unless you know who you are and whose you are. You need to know that to be saved by grace, saved in Jesus Christ, you need to know your Bible. You need to know how to defend your Bible. Go to Islamic Answering Islam. Apologetic Press, Answering Islam. These are places you can learn to defend the Christian faith. Answering Islam. David Woodside, Answering Islam. Apologetics Press. Cold Case Christianity. Go to that website, Cold Case Christianity. Christian Think Tank by Mr. Miller. Christian Think Tank by Mr. Miller. Cold Case Christianity by Wallace. Apologetics Press and Answering Islam. Biblical sites that you can learn about Christianity. Legionnaire Ministries, R.C. Sproul, S-P-R-O-U-L. Legionnaire Ministries, R.C. Sproul. Desiring God Ministries by John Piper. Desiring God Ministries by John Piper. Grace to You by John MacArthur. Grace to You by John MacArthur. These are websites that you can go to and learn about Christianity. Find your faith. Find your identity. Who you are in Christ. Get saved and come to the Lord today. This is a spiritual battle. We need to be praying. We need to be evangelizing. We need to be spreading the Christian faith. This is a situation where we have to all be determined to fight for our nations. And those who are British today, you need to fight for Britain. You who are men today, it's time you got off your backside. It's time you went down to Speaker's Corner and stood with Tommy Robinson to defend this woman, to defend Hatun. Go down there and not only have Speaker's Corner packed, but have the whole of London packed. Have the whole of London packed. Swamp London with British men that are willing to defend the rights of every man and woman in Britain to have free speech, of every man and woman to believe what they want to believe in religion. You want to believe that this is God, you believe it. That's up to you. I'll defend your right to believe it. I might not agree with you, but I'll defend your right to believe it. Let's defend the old values of Britain and let's get back to Christianity. If my people humble themselves, you need to humble yourself and repent. One brother has said Hatun needs to hire bodyguards. She does need to hire bodyguards because her life is on the line. She won't be alive long the way things are going. But that shouldn't be right. People need to defend her. The bottom line is, folks, we're at war. That's the bottom line. The establishment is absolutely destroying our country and ripping it to shreds, and we have not got long left. We are at war. But the thing is, these people did not come with tanks and bombs. They came as Trojan horses, and they are destroying and ripping our country to shreds. And we have to make a stand once and for all for our country. We have to make a stand for Britain. So don't go down there being violent. Everything you do must be legal. Everything you do must be legal according to the law. But still, you must fight for your country. And you can fight legally. Do everything in your power to defend your country legally. Do it to the best of your ability legally. One thing you can do is communicate, speak, dialogue, debate. One day, because they're shutting down debate and dialogue, one day they're going to continue to be violent. The far left are instigating violence in Britain, and they are punching people, kicking people, and assaulting people. That's what the far left are doing, and the police often stand by and allow this to happen. And they're allowing violence to happen at Speaker's Corner, and very often they're standing by and not doing anything about it. There'll come a point, there'll come a day, when that violence will get so bad, and I mean, it has to get horrendously bad, that people have to sit down and think, we need to defend ourselves. Just like the people in America, the people in America, when the far left were kicking off, then people came down and showed them, the American patriots showed them who's boss. And one day we in Britain may have to do that. But for the time being, we have to try and do everything in our means to do it legally, to do it fairly, to do it justly and honestly. And one thing you can do is go down to Speaker's Corner and stand with Hatun and say, we love you, we're standing with you, and give us some chocolates. Give us some chocolates. And do the right thing and defend your country. You've got to wake up. You're asleep. A lot of you are asleep. You've got to wake up. The writing's on the wall for Britain. The writing is on the wall for Britain. And you have to wake up before it's too late. And part of that waking up is to defend this lady who was attacked, brutally attacked. It was brutal. It was brutal. It was absolutely brutal. He came up and he went right in her face like that. Real man, innit? Eh? Try doing that to a true British man. Try doing that to a true British man. Try doing it to me or any other true British man. You'd have had that fist coming back at you. Cowards. Absolute cowards. And then they have the cheek to call her Islamophobic when the Islamic extremists punching her in the face. You couldn't believe it if you tried, could you? And then the media will spin it and call her an Islamophobe. Call Tommy Robinson an Islamophobe. And yeah, it's the Muslims that are cutting people's heads off. It was a Muslim that cut somebody's head off in France the other week. It wasn't Hatun, it wasn't Tommy Robinson, it was a Muslim cutting somebody's head off. And we're all supposed to can't say anything about Islam. And police officers are saying, right, we're noting this down, Jason. You're an Islamophobe, and What? Because I said it was a Muslim that did it. It was a Muslim. Why did he do it? Because his so-called prophet was insulted. Because he can't be man enough to take criticism of his prophet. Listen, my faith, Christian faith, is slandered and attacked daily. But I don't go around killing people. I debate people and talk to people. He said, well, he's not, this guy who chopped the guy's head off, he's not really a Muslim. Ah, right. Well, read your Quran, police. Read your Quran, judges. Read your Quran, I'm just making a video. I've got to go.